Now, we discussed my work. Something happened this week as well. Like it's always something happened this week. But the one peculiar thing that happened this week was the actual original stakeholder in the company that I'm consulting for got emotional. Uh, that wasn't that much fun, man, because the way I was treated was a very passive way. And I want you to imagine this. You're texting your girlfriend or your boyfriend. I don't know. You're texting somebody that you care about, and you say something without noticing, or you don't communicate what you want to say well, or you're just plainly an asshole. Any way you want to look at it. I want you guys to imagine how the response would be something like that. How something like just how they're how when somebody goes silent and you're trying to call them and they're not, you're messaging them and they're not responding, and you go like, okay, I don't know what happened, but like I'm waiting for you to let me know to call me back. And they don't. And so the next day I messaged him, I was like, I would love an explanation of what happened yesterday. And let me actually read this interaction for you guys. This is how it goes. Good morning. If you don't mind, I would like to understand what happened yesterday. And this is the response I got from him. Read your messages and hopefully you'd understand. And my response was, I won't. I read them a couple of times and something must be missing. I was hoping for the sake of what's happening, I could get some clarity on why I was treated the way I was yesterday. I still have a job to do and work to get done. Because ultimately, I'm not babysitting nobody, man. And I don't know if he basically, the way I looked at it was hesitation from his part or just an emotional time in his life where he's kind of like reflecting his emotions everywhere. Uh, that's practically how that's practically the core of why I think this is happening. But he just basically points at a message that I responded to. I responded to him with, and I try to explain it to him. And I go like, because he was like, we the designer that we're supposed to meet, man, postponed for 30 minutes, and he basically flipped out. And I go like, let's give her a chance at 7, and 7 o'clock was the time because we were supposed to be 6:30. And if she doesn't come online, we'll find somebody else. And he took it as if like in 07, or else we find a different designer for like the logo. And for some fucking reason, it pissed him off. And then I tried to be like, hey man, it's a response for the question. And he started pointing fingers, and I sent a screenshot and I was explaining it to him. Then he sent a screenshot, and I'm like, you know what, man? I wasn't challenging you on anything. And this is me literally reading the message right now. I should have wrote it differently. Since you felt your time was being squeezed by her pushing the 30 minutes, I wrote that if she didn't pull through and we can find another one. Should have noticed how I wrote this is how I wrote this is an issue. I just want to get it over with so we can start using these things. These things I'm talking about, the logos, because like I'm creating a brand for him, right? Like, and I went for a designer and we adjusted like whatever I tried to create out of a brand. And all the questions, the vision statement, the mission statement, the target audiences, and all these details, I basically like created them. And then I was like, she was ready at 7, but you never showed up, and it seems like I offended you in some way. So for that, I apologize. But if you weren't able to tell me exactly where I made a mistake, how would you expect me to understand how to communicate better? And that was me talking to him. And then all I'm interested in is things moving. So I seek your advice on this now. What's the best step that I should be considering? He responds with, we'll talk later. I respond with, okay. That was on Friday. Yesterday, I sent him an Instagram message. I sent him an Instagram tag. It's just like, it's a beautiful reel where somebody goes like, what's the difference between a logo and a brand? And it's fascinating because like that's literally everything I've been trying to explain to him for the past 2 weeks, because he just literally wants everything about the company in the fucking logo. And I'm trying to explain to him that the more we add detail to the logo, the more targeted people will start seeing us. And then if we want to do anything else, we're going to have to change the logo, or we're going to have to rebrand the company, or just go through some form of dilemma. Why not work from a strong point from the beginning? But yeah, so I don't really think I was, I think that was on me naturally. I'm the one who's going to take responsibility for it. I'm not the kind of guy that goes like, fuck this shit and whatever it is. Although those thoughts cross my mind, when big things like this happen, the first thing your mind starts doing is calculating everything. It's like, who the fuck does he think he is? Am I wasting my time? Is it true? And whatever it is. And I have to slowly, basically, I literally have to like look at my thoughts and be like, is this worth it? No. Would this work? No. Would this benefit me? No. Would this make me make more money? No. Would this make me like grow and learn more things? No. And I started asking all these questions, and one at a time, I started clearing out the thoughts that were not really like supportive until I find a place where I can hold myself accountable for something I did. Again, sometimes some people are just too much, and you're gonna have to make a decision you probably don't like. But I literally looked at myself and I was like, if I were to take responsibility, where would I have taken responsibility? Well, the first thing is I was messaging him on WhatsApp. I was accepting these messages on WhatsApp. It's stupid because with WhatsApp, we're all used to just send a point across. But when there's a discussion happening or a debate happening, you need full sentences, you need a whole lot of depth when it comes to things. And people need to hear your tone of voice as well because they assume the way you're writing, the way they're feeling, and I have no idea what he was going through, but he had just arrived back in the country, so probably overwhelmed by everything that he just came and saw after taking a week break or something like this. He had just left his family. His daughter had just had a new baby, so he probably just really wants to retire and get the fuck out of that place. And in a way, just rushing the process or just pissed off because he started with it and it's still not done yet. That's the best analysis I can fucking give, man. And it's not necessarily a psychological analysis yet, because there's a lot of factors that I could actually include in, but I'm not included in his life, and I really don't fucking care. I'm not interested. Do your thing, man. Let me do my thing. You either give me the go ahead or you don't. Because if you want me to take care of your brand or the branding or the marketing campaign, you either give me the tools for me to market for you or you trust me with whatever I built to market for you. Now, I'm showing it to him for him, not necessarily to take approval in order for him to understand why I'm doing it, but they're rejecting me at every way. And so something cute happened yesterday because while I was covering my eyes at night trying to fall asleep, I had a hard time for 20 minutes and I didn't understand why. So I started voicing my thoughts in bed. And as I did that, the tension in my whole fucking body kind of like got out. But one of the thoughts I voiced was me yelling in a passionate way, like, one of those like fucking lectures. Me yelling in the actual, in my head, me yelling at the guys, trying to go like, do you understand? Because that was what's going on in my head. It's like, how can I explain to them something that they're not included in? Because if anyone has talked to me about branding a year ago, I would have only understood that there are brands, right? I would have only understood the surface of it. And so I started going in my head. It was like, would you know what does the Nike logo have anything to do with the actual brand? You know, shoes. Nike's whole point is just do it, and that's why there's the tick, right? That's the justification for the tick. The concept behind the tick is literally just like, you guys just fucking do it. Just say yes, go for it, and more, right? And I'm just like making it like a bit simpler. But so that's basically what a brand is. A brand is an encapsulation of whatever this company stands for. And how would I explain it to people that have no idea, that all they know is the product itself because they're in the factory? They don't, I don't know, they've never, the business world, man, it's just, as people think it's simple, but like a lot of thought processes over a lot of years have been like applied. It is always like there are always people that are thinking and trying to build stuff. And we have to respect that, right? We have to respect the, for example, the business analysis book that I have. I imagine the years for people to be able to articulate all the details and then write them in a way and then transition them in a way and then basically elaborate on them in a way and then take the feedback and see how things were done. and find my different details and to be able to ask the broader questions and all these principles that there's a lot of them, man. And people are always trying to figure out ways to like come up with solutions and come up with a better way to plan and a better way to allow people to communicate with each other, to harmonize with each other. It's that's what's business. That's what business is. And how do you explain that to people that are just they're focused on one thing to get done and not really like considering how teamwork kind of like doesn't work out and how teamwork goes up or come down. So a lot of emotions were coming out of me yesterday. So I recorded something for me and I sent it to myself. And the recording was, how would I point at a certain frustration that everyone would have at one point, where they're trying to explain something, but it doesn't matter how they explain it. The other side would never understand because they have no fucking clue. They're they don't know anything about the field. It's like an engineer talking to you about cars. Well, all you've done is basically, I don't know, I don't know. It's like the problem is that I could actually correlate all fields together because like there's always some form of math and engineering and like art and design and everything that you do. But like, how would an engineer explain a concept to a person that all they do is online marketing, for example, or all they do is package goods, or all they do is make small plastic tanks? How would a guy that makes plastic tanks explain to a guy that a person that just puts makeup on people all day, right? That's a legitimate job. A hairstylist. How would you be able to explain your side that's based on years of your experience on something that somebody else has no experience in? That's basically it. And that's what I thought of yesterday. And I today was basically like how and what I'll be writing down towards it. It's a very powerful way to send a message, but like how do I get to them and how do I form it in a way where each person could create their own thought process in their head where they remember a time when they felt frustrated, because that's literally how I feel right now. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to explain these things to you. I shouldn't care if you like them or not. You hired me because you wanted somebody to do this job, then why are you interfering? That's how I feel. Thank you.